Next, enter the plot analysis of episode 89 of Immortal Inverse. After Wang Lin sealed Murong Yun, he came to a valley outside, but at the edge of the altar, a woman blocked his way. This person is Liu Mei, the younger brother of Suzaku, who coveted his artistic conception of life and death. Although the two did not have a substantial holiday, Wang Lin did not have a good impression of her. Wang Lin, do you hate me? Give way, what a hard-hearted person. Could it be that in your heart, apart from Limuan, there is no room for anyone else? You know, the current crystal of star cultivation may be shattered at any time. Wang Lin didn't bother any more, and immediately sacrificed the immortal sword. Without hesitation, he directly chose the spicy hand to destroy the flower with one sword. It was just this full-strength blow that was easily blocked by Liu Mei. Of course, this sword also exposed Wang Lin's strength in the early stages of infancy. Liu Mei, let me say one last thing, get out of the way, otherwise I will do my best. Who knew that when Liu Mei heard this, not only did she not have any plans to get out of the way, she even had the idea of Wang Lin's artistic conception. The two of them, one is to use the 1000 illusion clone to perceive the ruthless Tao cultivated by different lovers in life, the other is to start with sentience, to perceive life and death, and to experience the way of reincarnation after seeing through the mortal world. In essence, Qianwen's ruthless Tao and the artistic conception of life and death are just one kind of ruthless Tao. Seeing that Liu Mei was so oily and salt-free, Wang Lin took out the forbidden streamer without saying a word. Suddenly, countless energy suddenly burst out, permeating the entire valley. Forbidden. As soon as the words fell, a black spear condensed from prohibition appeared in Wang Lin's hands in the blink of an eye. At the same time, under the crazy surge of immortal power in his body suddenly turned into a dark shadow, and he stabbed towards Liu Mei. At this moment, Liu Mei tapped her hand a few times, and a huge peacock phantom appeared in the void. Look at the trick. As soon as Liu Mei said this, the peacock instantly turned on the screen and collided with Wang Lin's spear. After a loud noise, although the peacock screen was still beautiful, the color was much dimmer. However, the spear also turned into a burst of energy at this moment, spreading out towards the surroundings. At the same time, as Wang Lin retreated, a billion soul streamers suddenly appeared in his hands. He knew that only by using this method could the battle be ended in the shortest possible time. However, when Liu Mei saw the billion soul streamers that were enough to kill her, she didn't panic at all. After Suzaku's tomb was opened, she was the second person to enter this place. The place of this altar was the battlefield she chose for the battle with Wang Lin. If you choose to use the soul streamer, I will destroy this altar. The next time this thing condenses is in a few days, so it can stop you for a few days. Wang Lin's eyes were cold when he heard the words, and he stopped doing it. He knew that Liu Mei hadn't lied to him, because of the characteristics of this altar, which Situ Nan had explained at the time. What is your purpose? Wang Lin asked. There is no purpose, I just want to fight with you in an artistic conception. In fact, my ruthless Tao 1000 illusion technique is actually only 999 techniques. When the last illusion takes shape, my artistic conception will directly break through to the late stage of infancy. How about fulfilling my last fantasy? At this moment, Wang Lin stared at Liu Mei, pinching his hands. The sky suddenly seemed to be torn apart, a huge scroll suddenly appeared, and it spread out on the sky in an instant. There are not only mountains and waters on this scroll, but also a lot of gray air emerging in it. The last illusion will fulfill you, and it will be remembered in this life and will never be forgotten. As soon as the voice fell, I saw the gray air in the scroll, and suddenly a huge Tsang dragon formed, roaring, and swallowing at a very fast speed towards the peacock above Liu Mei. The peacock screamed sharply, and a deep ruthless indifference swayed out in an instant. Suddenly, on the scroll of the cycle of life and death, there was another artistic conception. The ruthlessness in this artistic conception seems to make the frost colder, and even the 4 seasons will suddenly change. At this time, the Tsanglong turned into a thick cloud of gray air in a flash, enveloping the peacock in it. Everything in the world cannot escape life and death. What should exist will always exist, and what should dissipate will also dissipate. While Wang Lin sighed softly, he remembered Li Muan at this moment. At this moment, the peacock screamed again, and it turned into a rainbow, which directly merged with the landscape in the scroll. The scroll above the sky, with the integration of the rainbow, is no longer the original black and white color. Such a change made Liu Mei, who was looking forward to it, break her defense in an instant. When she was in the soul refining sect, she was completely able to take action against Wang Lin. But at that time, Wang Lin's artistic conception had not yet been fully transformed, let alone condensed into substance, so she had been waiting, but now, the power of Wang Lin's artistic conception still cannot meet her requirements. Liu Mei is now extremely lost and disappointed, and even she now speculates that if Wang Lin doesn't have 1,000,000,000 soul streamers, he is actually a useless person. What should dissipate will naturally dissipate, but if what should exist dissipates, I will never agree that they're your last fantasy, I sent it. After that, he waved his big hand, and a trace of pink mist flew into the scroll of life and death in the blink of an eye. I saw the fairy little sister in Su Ligua's mouth gradually appeared. This woman is a trace of artistic conception left by the collapse of the primordial god when the 3 ancestors of the immortal remnant clan became monks, after being obtained by Wang Lin. It has been temporarily stored in the storage bag. The artistic conception of life and death is just a cover, and this artistic conception is his real killing move against Liu Mei. Originally, Wang Lin had this plan in his heart a long time ago. After reading the Yujin given by Zhou Wutai, he was even more sure that this was a feasible way to deal with Liu Mei, but seeing the scroll above the sky, it was instantly closed at this moment, and the colorful colors on it were suddenly forced out. That trace of artistic conception turned into a powder mist at this moment, and went straight to the huge peacock above Liu Mei. Wang Lin, you are so despicable. The peacock collapsed as soon as it touched the powder mist, revealing Liu Mei sitting cross-legged on the altar. At this moment, her pretty face was slightly flushed, and her already extremely charming appearance was even more heart-pounding at this moment. In fact, there is neither deep hatred nor great hatred between Wang Lin and Liu Mei. If Liu Mei hadn't insisted on fighting, Wang Lin would not have used this Mei-ji. However, it was indeed a bit too despicable to break Liu Mei's ruthless way with shame, but Wang Lin didn't take it to heart at all. He moved forward as soon as he moved. Over the years, Wang Lin Lao had a feeling that Tuosan was about to break away from the shackles of the ancient gods, lingering in his heart. Whether it is true or not, once he gets the soul of life, he will not take care of Suzaku Star, but will immediately leave the dangerous Suzaku Star. At the moment, Wang Lin has already thought about it. After entering the interior, he will first look for the tomb of a generation of Suzaku. If he can't find it, he will look for the king of Lingwu to regain his soul. Of course, to complete these, the shorter the time it takes, the better. Nowadays, whether it is the crystal of star cultivation or Tuosan that is about to be broken, it is like a fate talisman, making Wang Lin dare not slack off at all. If one of these two arrives early, it means that he is not far from death. After Wang Lin subdued Liu Mei, he walked into the altar and left here. However, at this moment, a pink mist with a monstrous opportunity blocked his way. At this moment, the powder mist spread extremely fast, so Wang Lin had to temporarily abandon the teleportation and quickly retreated, but even though he reacted so quickly, there was still some powder mist that penetrated into his body. At this moment, Wang Lin's face was gloomy, looking at the large pink mist in the valley. At this moment, I saw Liu Mei, whose skin was like fat, slowly walked out of it. Oddly enough, the original ruthless intent in her beautiful eyes has dissipated, replaced by a color of lust that seems to be soul-catching, but seeing a beautiful smile at the corner of her mouth, the jade hand was a little empty, and suddenly the pink mist was frantically moving around, spreading at an unimaginable speed. In just the blink of an eye, a radius of tens of thousands of miles became a pink world. Originally, with Wang Lin's determination, if he held his breath, his artistic conception could barely resist, but the trace of powder mist remaining in his body hadn't had time to remove it. Now, under the cooperation of the inside and the outside, Wang Lin has completely lost his mind for the first time. In fact, the appearance of Meiji was a very serious test for Liu Mei. If it weren't for the 3 ancestors from the outside world who inadvertently interrupted Meiji's seizure of the house, leaving her helpless to merge, then Liu Mei at this time would have become a puppet who only knew how to enjoy carnal desires. Now, the merged Liu Mei has achieved 1,000 illusions, and Wang Lin is naturally unable to resist it. The next day, the powder mist with a radius of thousands of miles had all gathered in this valley. At this time, the sound coming from the mist made people feel moved and excited. Originally, Suzaku wanted Liu Mei to leave her own shadow in Wang Lin's Dao's heart. This is great, but now Wang Lin has left something behind. As soon as the conversation turned, Wang Lin, who had finished the matter, had already appeared on a wasteland inside Suzaku's tomb at this time. There are still things to be done right now, but Liu Mei's matter is still put aside, and it is useless to think about it.in this way. Wang Lin, who had put on a green hat for Li Muan, flashed his body and galloped away into the distance. According to Situ Nan, the interior of this Suzaku tomb should not be large. In the middle of a spiritual mountain, not only does it have the Suzaku sealed Taoist tradition, but it is also the location of a generation of Suzaku corpses. But when Wang Lin's divine consciousness spread out and swept around, not only could he not get a glimpse of his whole picture, but he even attracted several powerful provocations. With a flicker of Wang Lin's eyes, he looked for the center position and galloped away into the distance. That he knew that this star-cultivating crystal was extremely domineering, and he didn't have much time left for himself. This thing is the most powerful power given by the Cultivation Alliance to the 6th level cultivation country. Only when the cultivation level has reached the level of victory, there is a chance to withdraw the soul of life, except for Suzaku of each generation. Of course, not all winning monks can succeed, and the chance is only half. On Suzaku's star, none of the people who have been born in the past tens of thousands of years have drawn out their souls. This has a lot to do with the crystal of star cultivation being sealed by Situ Nan. Along the way, Wang Lin clearly felt that the deeper he went, the more life-soul creatures there would be, and among them there were existences that he didn't dare to provoke easily. However, at this moment, Wang Lin's expression suddenly changed, and he secretly said something was wrong. That if this place is humid all year round, there will definitely be some moss-like plants growing. After all, along the way, this Suzaku tomb is no different from the outside world, but the dampness here seems to have just appeared. Wang Lin didn't pause, he immediately backed away, and appeared 100 feet away in a blink of an eye. The moment he left, drops of crystal clear water drifted in the air, and then a woman strangely condensed, blocking Wang Lin's way. It is said that the last thing Wang Lin wants to provoke in this Suzaku tomb is the spirit composed of the soul of water life. Water exists between heaven and earth, and even if it is sealed and imprisoned, it is difficult to completely cover it. Therefore, after perceiving that there might be a soul of life here, he chose to retreat without hesitation. Now that the spirit of water life had appeared, Wang Lin used his divine consciousness to sweep it in order to prevent any changes. Deep down, he saw a person who was fighting with a quite powerful water life soul creature. Oddly enough, this water life soul creature actually gave him a feeling of connection between his heart and mind. At this moment, when the woman saw Wang Lin retreat, she immediately turned into drops of water and rushed towards the depths of the valley. At the same time, Wang Lin also noticed something wrong at this moment, that he is neither the root of the water spirit nor the soul of the water life. Why does he feel connected to his heart and mind? As he was about to leave, his expression suddenly changed, and he suddenly turned his head and looked towards the valley. Water. He didn't hesitate, and as soon as he moved, he roared towards the depths of the valley. The previous woman also discovered Wang Lin at this time, and she was about to stop him immediately. However, after a few rounds of fighting, he was directly sealed in place by him. Wang Lin was extremely fast, and within a few flashes he came to the depths of the valley. Here that I saw an old man who had completely imprisoned the water life soul spirit that was fighting with him. The old man can't kill you, but he can refine these souls. That it will also take time for you to condense again, so that you will have no time to chase the old man. This old man was the one who chased Wang Lin into the cracks in space in the land of immortal relics. Back then, with the blessing of the star compass and the dew of the sky, Wang Lin not only walked, the dog almost collapsed, but he was also blasted by Wang Lin with a messy magic weapon. Even when he ran out of oil and wanted to leave, Wang Lin broke the only exit of the crack. If it hadn't been for him to use the ancestral spirit talisman to communicate with his people, I am afraid he would have died a long time ago. At this time, he, who was fully devoted to fighting, was also taken aback when he saw Wang Lin's appearance. It's you. The old man's cold light flashed, and then he raised his head and howled, "Heaven help me too," and immediately turned into a dark light, rushing towards Wang Lin. Wang Lin was also meeting with his enemies at this moment, and he was very jealous. That I saw a 3-foot sail, and he took advantage of the situation and held it in his hand. As soon as these billion soul streamers came out, they gave people a strong sense of shock before facing the enemy. Seeing the impact of the hunchback old man, he couldn't help but be taken aback. At this moment, I saw Wang Lin trembling, and suddenly his overwhelming soul rushed out, more than a dozen main souls plus the purple golden unicorn, without pausing, rushed directly towards the old man. When the hunchback old man saw this, he also cried out again and again in his heart, with his strength, 3 or 5 infants can change their souls, and they can confidently tie them. It is even more of a piece of cake for him to get out and escape, but this is too much right now. At this moment, the old man didn't care about any grievances, so he ran away without saying a word. He didn't expect that in less than 100 years, this junior, who was like a bereaved dog, is now not only a young child, but also has a soul streamer that all the people fear. Wang Lin had no time to take care of the hunchback old man, and after releasing the soul streamer, he rescued the soul of water life. This water life soul is also a woman, but the appearance of this person is indeed quite similar to Li Mei. However, at this moment, the remaining main soul instantly surrounded the woman. You rescued people, but now you want to be trapped, but what do you mean? Do you want to die or live? Here, no one can kill me, even if it traps me, it only takes some time for me to get out of the trap and leave. It was too late and too fast, and I saw 1 billion souls shining brightly. Almost in the blink of an eye, the surrounding souls dissipated, leaving only 6 main souls. After the fusion of the main soul, each body exudes a powerful coercion in the late stage of infancy. In the blink of an eye, under the attack of these main souls, the woman's body turned into a ball of water in a flash. As everyone knows, Wang Lin is waiting for this moment, and only when she is separated can she find Li Mei's soul. After the forced water creature disintegrated, Wang Lin snatched Li Mei's soul. But at this moment, a dimensional crack suddenly appeared silently in front of him, so frightened that he couldn't help but speak, and fled out of the valley without turning his head back. Outside the valley, looking around, Suzaku's tomb at this time was completely unrecognizable. I saw countless dimensional cracks, ruthlessly devouring everything in front of me. Wang Lin took a deep breath, and after a while, he cautiously flew slowly towards the distance. With a turn of the conversation, the current sea of cultivating demons has no natural barrier, and has completely become a vassal of the immortal remnant clan. This time, a strange man with a dead aura lingering all over his body was looking at the broken heart, with hesitation in his eyes. This person is called the Broken Army, and his great hobby in his life is to devour the ancient monks. But after hundreds of years, he traveled all over Suzaku's star, but he didn't even see the shadow of an ancient monk. Although he had long smelled the breath of an ancient monk inside the broken heart chaos, the degree of danger here made him hesitate to move forward. It's just that, you can't leave your life for the sake of your appetite. In recent years, the old man has recovered from his injuries, and it is time to leave Suzaku's star. If it is found by that Situnan, in my current state, I will definitely not be able to beat him. At this time, the Broken Army couldn't help but think of the old friend who was far away in Suzaku's star Jian Zun Ling Tianqi, when he was still thinking about asking him to go out of the mountain to deal with Situnan and find Tianhuzu. Suddenly a man with a foot on the waves appeared in the void in the distance, walking towards him step by step. Greedy wolf, do you want to make the idea of this place too? The old man is annoyed when he sees you. Since you like this place, just go in. The old man leaves. After that, as soon as he moved, he directly entered the broken star chaos. In fact, the greedy wolf has been staying here since 10,000 years ago. He saw the Broken Army rushing in, and as soon as he moved, he fell out of his broken heart. At the same time, on the huge pile of stones in the land of ancient gods, a man with blood-red hair showed a cruel smile at the corner of his mouth. Here comes another one. The day I get out of trouble is very near. Wang Lin, you must keep my will inheritance and wait for me to collect it. Without the inheritance of my will, it is useless for you to have empty memories. In fact, the inheritance of the ancient god 2C obtained by Wang Lin is not perfect. Tuosin has searched almost all corners of the entire land of ancient gods for many years, and finally paid off his efforts, and finally found and fused this last piece of memory crystal. Over the years, he can often feel that there is a kind of power that is constantly growing inside this planet. And that power is the crystal of star cultivation that makes the entire Suzaku star monk tremble at this moment. Through him, Tuosin's seal can be loosened, so as to leave here with the soul-changing technique. When 2C was distracted here, he was worshipped as a god by the natives here at the time. 2C not only responded to them, but also asked them to make a place for the sacrifice of the ancient gods. However, this last place of sacrifice is exactly where the hinterland of the immortal remnant tribe is now located. In order to obtain the crystal of star cultivation as quickly as possible, Tuasin did not hesitate to awaken Suzhua, the immortal remnant who had been sleeping for many years, at a great cost, and secretly helped him successfully break through to the 12th night, and released the entire immortal remnant. Out. Now, not only has the tomb of Suzaku, where the crystal of star cultivation is stored, been opened, but even the messenger he sent had an encounter with Wang Lin at the entrance. Wang Lin, the day I got out of trouble with Tuasin, I swallowed up your inheritance. I am the ancient god. Who will be my enemy in this starry sky at that time? As soon as the conversation turned, the creepy cracks in the void became less and less as Wang Lin deepened. 2 days later, a basin full of broken gold appeared before his eyes, but in every basin that stretches for thousands of miles, a long sword is deeply inserted. Golden Soul. It can be said that Wang Lin's time in Suzaku's tomb has not been short. The scene here and the phenomena that have occurred before seem quite strange that he boldly guessed that this entire Suzaku tomb should actually be the crystal of star cultivation. This conjecture, he had to go to the center of this place to be verified that if there is no Lingshan mentioned by Situ Nan, it will prove that this conjecture is completely correct. Just as Wang Lin approached, a long sword suddenly rose to the ground and roared towards him. At the same time, an extremely domineering and arrogant divine thought came out of this sword. At this time, Wang Lin was surprised to find that this spirit thing was very similar to the sword soul. As soon as Su Ligua's voice fell, Suzaku Xing's most central sword soul appeared at this moment. At this moment, the arrogant sword suddenly trembled, and retreated directly without saying a word. At this moment, the sword seemed to have encountered a nemesis, and they all moved closer to the basin in the center. A few hours later, I saw countless swords buzzing from the central basin. At this scene, Wang Lin had already felt an amazing chill before he approached, and even Su Ligua, who was so bullish all the way, did not dare to step forward, resulting in a retreat. Before Wang Lin could speak, he had to escape directly into the immortal sword to avoid the edge for a while, but as soon as he was halfway in, he was pulled out by Wang Lin. If you can't get rid of this place for me, it will be useless to leave you. Seeing this helplessness, Su Ligua could only rush towards the sword group with the immortal sword. However, at this moment, a meniscus sword slowly flew out of the sword group. This knife is not composed of a large number of life souls, but a single life soul. After entering Suzaku's tomb, Wang Lin saw countless fate souls, and only the sword soul in front of him was the only spirit that was transformed by just one fate soul. But Su Ligua was born timid, and at this moment he trembled nervously, and even wanted to worship, but because of Wang Lin, he could only dispel this thought. Hearing only a crisp sound, the immortal sword was immediately hit by the scimitar a few feet away. Although Wang Lin knew in his heart that Su Ligua was timid, he didn't expect that this guy was so timid that he didn't even dare to stand, so he ran back directly. However, at this moment, a divine thought came out of the scimitar: his soul is left behind. After that, the sword soul immediately turned into a size of 10 feet and slashed towards Wang Lin, but after hearing a loud noise, Wang Lin's whole body was suddenly thrown 100 feet away. With this force, he did not pause at all, and hurried directly towards the distance. Immediately afterwards, almost all the immortal swords in this place were pointed by the sword front, followed closely. As a result, Wang Ling couldn't help but think of the scene when she was a weak child and was chased by others. At this moment, suddenly the two Changhong in front of him were flying towards him quickly, but after a meal, the Changhong turned around and immediately fled towards the distance. Obviously, the two of them had already noticed the strangeness behind Wang Lin. Although thousands of miles apart, Wang Lin recognized the true identities of the two at a glance. "Brother Zhou, don't go, wait a while." However, at this time, Zhou Wutai didn't seem to hear it, but instead got up faster. Seeing this, Wang Lin didn't say a word. He teleported directly, surpassing Zhou Wutai and swept away into the distance. However, after the scimitar got out of the basin range, its speed doubled in an instant, but in the blink of an eye, it flashed close to Zhou Wutai and chased Wang Lin. What kind of spirit is this? It's so fast, at least dozens of times faster than just now. This fast object, in fact, Wang Lin has also seen it in those four souls. At the same time, he also naturally had agreed for this thing in his heart. I must get this thing. At this moment, the sword soul was getting faster and faster behind him, and it was getting closer and closer to him. Without saying a word, Wang Lin immediately dragged Su Ligua out and threw him over. Su Ligua, don't be wronged. Treat him as the ancestor of the troll clan. When I get my soul back, I will definitely save you. Su Ligua immediately wailed and was about to escape, but he was directly rolled up by the sword soul and disappeared. At this time, Su Ligua's plaintive scream came from far away in the void, "Master, don't forget to save me." After Wang Lin lost Su Ligua, he swept towards Ling Shan in the distance. However, at this moment, a red figure not far away caught his eyes. Red butterfly. I saw that although the red butterfly at this time was still a lure, her eyes were empty and sluggish. Of course, where there is a red butterfly, there must be Qianfeng's figure, but with the cultivation base of the other party in the middle stage of infancy, and under the condition of deliberate concealment, even if Wang Lin exhausted all his strength, it would be difficult to detect it. Fellow red butterfly, I haven't seen you for a long time. At this moment, Hongdi gave Wang Lin a deep look, and his figure appeared 100 feet away in a flash. Although Wang Lin had known what happened to Hongdi a long time ago, now that he was close to taking a closer look, his face couldn't help but look ugly. At this moment, the red butterfly no longer has the stunning female figure of the Upanishad of that year, but instead, it is a dead silence like a walking dead. The red butterfly of that year was a generation of Tianjiao in Shuyu country, and he was a talented figure who had turned into a god for 100 years. He didn't put Wang Lin, a little man at that time, in his eyes, although the two of them eventually upgraded to a decisive battle because of a little entanglement. In Wang Lin's heart, they still had great respect for Hongdi's opponent, the opponents of the past. Now that they have ended up in such a field, it is not bad to say that things are different from people. However, compared with the current situation, Wang Lin would rather see the arrogance of the year. Today's red butterfly, and that kind of red butterfly battle is what he is pursuing towards the peak of his life. Qianfeng, come out. As soon as the voice fell, Qianfeng's voice came from the void. Xingniu, Qian Mao has no time to entangle you today. Since you have also found this place, then we will see you on Lingshan. At this moment, a figure appeared on the distant mountain range. At this moment, Hongdi, didn't you want to fight Xingniu again? Today I will give you this opportunity to kill him. After the words fell dry, Feng directly turned into Changhong, and galloped towards the center of this place. Wang Lin snorted coldly, and with a flick of his body, he tried to chase forward. However, at this moment, the red butterfly stopped in front of him with a warlike expression on his face. At the same time, a monstrous aura suddenly erupted from the red butterfly. Wang Lin was not in a hurry to find Qianfeng. He originally guessed that this Suzaku tomb was the crystal of star cultivation, and there would be no Lingshan at all. This matter was strange. Since Qianfeng wanted to explore the way, Wang Lin was willing to fulfill him. At this time, Hongdi didn't say a word. A long sword suddenly appeared in his hand, and he immediately slashed at him. Upon seeing this, Wang Lin quickly retreated, and at the same time used the ban on streamers to form layers of protection in front of him. In an instant that I only heard a loud bang, and the wind and sand suddenly set off, permeating the entire sky. Kill me. Wang Lin couldn't help being shocked when he heard this. In fact, Hongdi's sanity has not been completely lost. She has undoubtedly been proud all her life. This kind of pride has been deeply carved into her bones and even her soul. At this moment, she would rather die than endure such pain in her mind. At this moment, the Kunji whip also suddenly appeared in the hands of the red butterfly. This whip was like a dragon. Following the posture of the red butterfly, it rushed towards Wang Lin like lightning. Wang Lin took a deep breath, and at the same time the air intake gun was also formed, and he greeted it at an extremely fast speed. You know, today's Wang Lin is also at the level of an infant transformation boss. Although the cultivation base of the red butterfly is very close to an infant transformation, this step is thousands of miles away. It was only after a loud noise that the Kunji whip actually let go and rushed directly towards Wang Lin. Wang Lin was taken aback, and immediately retreated directly to 100 feet away at an extremely fast speed. The Kunji whip is really powerful. When Wang Lin fought against it in the decisive battle, he was beaten by this whip twice in a row, but at that time he also grabbed this thing, but in the end, due to the pressure of the Suzaku kingdom, he had to hand it over again. Now that there are no obstacles, seeing this whip again, he is already determined to get it. Kill me. At this moment, Hongdi's eyes were struggling, and her face was full of pain. After a moment of silence, Wang Lin nodded, and he took out the heirloom axe of the ancestor of the troll. This giant axe was originally the lightning strike weapon of the Lion Eagle sect of Zhao. Originally, he planned to leave it to the deity for use, but now the immortal sword has no sword soul, and he doesn't want to use that soul. At this moment, only this axe is the most suitable weapon. Xingniu, let's do it. It's useless to kill a life like mine that has lost its sanity. I, the red butterfly, would rather die than escape. As soon as the voice fell, I saw a red light flying out of the red butterfly's mouth, and it instantly turned into a rose floating in front of him. At this time, the scenes of the past with Hongdi also flashed quickly in Wang Lin's mind, and she couldn't help feeling sorry that the proud girl of heaven had ended up like this. Red butterfly, I will fulfill you. Speaking of the giant axe in Wang Lin's hand, he slashed directly at the red butterfly with the momentum of opening the sky. A smile slowly appeared at the corner of Hongdi's mouth at this moment, as if he was finally relieved. Today, the life of the red butterfly is only less than 200 years. Its short life is like that of the butterfly. Although it is instantaneous, it is quite beautiful. When the flowers bloom next year, a rose will bloom on Suzaku Star, and a blue rose will bloom in the far north plains. Wang Lin, that's my gift to you. At this time, when the tomahawk was approaching, the rose had also turned into fly ash and dissipated. At this moment, a shocking red mark appeared on the center of the red butterfly's eyebrows. The blessed one, you calculated the tribulation of the red butterfly, but unfortunately you only calculated the day of the end, and you couldn't calculate the dry maple that gave the red butterfly this tribulation. Back then, the master of Hongdi took him seriously as a baby, and it was purely a coincidence that he mistakenly regarded the Terminator as Wang Lin. Ask a wizard like Hongdi, which force would not be carefully cultivated, let alone the entire snowy country at that time, still moved away from the barren land under his aura. Wang Lin, can you help me kill Qianfeng? As soon as the voice fell, the red butterfly's body slammed and turned directly into a piece of flesh and blood. A generation of beautiful female red butterflies has completely died at this moment. After he passed away, only the Kunji whip and a jade sword were left to Wang Lin. This jade chain records Qianfeng's desire to devour everything. The reason why Qianfeng is so happy to devour the artistic conception of others is because he wants to gain different insights by devouring the artistic conception, so that he can continuously improve his artistic conception and finally achieve perfection. After understanding all this, Wang Lin turned into a Changhong and swept towards Lingshan in the distance. There is a divine thought of the winning period on the Kunji whip, and Wang Lin cannot get rid of it for the time being. Now he can only wait until the trifles are dealt with, and then use the soul streamer to refine the winning soul, and only after it is broken can he truly obtain the right to use it. At this moment, he had no longer the posture of a male god, but looked extremely embarrassed that he was halfway up the mountain, and by coincidence, he just caught up with the second great collapse of Suzaku's tomb. Under that large-scale dimensional crack, he almost gave a direct account of his life. In the end, he had an idea and dug a hole in the mountain to hide, only to be spared. Brother Wang, who can be called Brother Wang by Wang Lin, is only Zhou Wutai in this Suzaku tomb. When he saw Wang Lin being chased by the sword soul before, he wanted to catch up and tell him something, but halfway there, he met Skylark and was brought here. Later, several more people came here one after another, 2 of whom were still from the immortal tribe. The 8-leaf conjurer said that the person of Xingniu naturally regarded the red butterfly as the dry maple of the furnace. If it weren't for him to manipulate the red butterfly to fight Wang Lin, the red butterfly would not die, but then again, this is not a relief for the red butterfly. As for the person who called Wang Lin directly, it was naturally the second ancestor Skylark. Originally, he was unable to enter Suzaku's tomb based on his cultivation base in the winning period, but the immortal survivors used the Tianling cover rune of the dead Suzhua to temporarily break the restriction, relying on the tyrannical 12-leaf cultivation base. Xingxing sent him in, but after all, This is just a heavenly spirit cover, and it is not as perfect as a real person. Although he can come in, as long as the time limit is exceeded and the power of the rune dissipates, then he will be directly obliterated by the star repair crystal into slag. Slag. But in addition to these people, there was also the old man who taunted him at the entrance. Juniors see seniors, you are here too. At this moment, the two of them looked at each other, but they both fell silent. However, at this moment, several wood carvings flew out of Wang Lin's storage bag and landed in front of young Quasi. These wood carves are all exactly the same, and they are all handsome and handsome. The juniors have completed all the things entrusted by the seniors back then. The lark's eyes flashed, and with a wave of his big hand, he put away the wood carving. After Wang Lin finished, he walked directly to the side and sat down cross-legged. That he didn't care much about how Skylark came in, and he wouldn't have to ask one thing to the end. But now, Wang Lin has planned to take the soul of his life and give up the complete star cultivation crystal. After all, this sutra is related to the entire Suzaku star, countless living lives. He has not yet reached the point where he sacrificed all creatures for his own lusts. Of course, if there is a grudge against Wang Lin, it is a different matter. For example, the caring for the veteran Fujiwara has won unanimous praise. However, at this moment, the arrival of a woman made him calm for an instant. This woman walked towards him step by step. This person was Liu Mei, and he didn't want anyone to disturb him. Don't approach. In fact, the encounter with Liu Mei seemed to him to be nothing more than a mistake, but then Liu Mei's words instantly touched Wang Lin's rebellious scales. Then what about Li Muan in your heart? Liu Mei's words seemed to be jealous, but in fact she wanted to break his heart. If it weren't for the moment, Wang Lin would definitely escape from the soul streamer and come with him for a few rounds. Get out. Even if your artistic conception is complete, if Wang wants to kill you, it is not difficult. Don't look for death. Liu Mei looked at this posture and stopped turning around, so she walked to the front, but at this time, the smile cast by the gloomy old man made Wang Lin feel a little palpitated. I have been practicing Buddhism for more than 600 years and have countless enemies, but if I can, with just a smile, there is only one person who scares me, Tuasen Imonyen. When Wang Lin thought of Tuasen, his heart was cold. If it comes to the entire Suzaku star, among the people he is afraid of, Suzaku does not dare to sit in the front row. This top deal is the only one he provoked back then, the demon-like man Tuasen. The inheritance of the ancient god 2C is divided into two. One is the inheritance of will, and the other is the inheritance of strength. To put it simply, one is magic damage, all magical powers, and the other is physical damage, only power, and no magic at all. It's just that Tuasen Kong has power, and he can't exert all the strength of the 8-star ancient god at all. To be precise, even if the current Tuasen reaches its limit, it is only at the level of the 5-star ancient god, but it can be regarded as this, and it has completely surpassed the level of winning. Once Tuasen obtains the inheritance of his will, it only takes a period of absorption to condense his body and become a true 8-star ancient god. With this strength, the old monsters of the Cultivation Alliance had to shiver when they saw it. Tuasen, he shouldn't be completely out of trouble yet, otherwise he doesn't have to take the house in this way, but just come out to find me. After seizing the house, why did I not immediately take action when I saw me, but entered the tomb of Suzaku? Could it be that this person also wanted to get the crystal of star cultivation? Could it be that the crystal of star cultivation could completely free him from the seal of the ancient gods? However, at this moment, the third collapse of Suzaku's tomb had already come. Except for the people on Lingshan, almost all the monks were wiped out one by one, and even the spiritual objects composed of life and soul collapsed and dissipated. As the soul of life dissipated, the creatures in Suzaku's heart also began to perish. As soon as the style of painting turned, Suzaku, who was in Suzaku Mountain at this time, showed a crazy look in his eyes, and a tragic smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. My junior brother, how about this game? This game has just begun, and it has not yet reached its climax. My good disciple Qian Feng, as a teacher, I am looking forward to you using the baby I gave you. As long as you use this baby, then the climax of this game can begin. In Suzaku's tomb, after the collapse, the gate in the void above Lingshan also appeared with many cracks at this time. Upon seeing this, Skylark took the lead and led the two 8-leaf conjurers, used their magical powers, and blasted over. However, at this moment, the weird and gloomy old man uttered, "Cut," lightly, and as soon as his voice fell, the two immortal survivors exploded immediately. It's just that when Wang Lin saw this spell, he had a very familiar feeling. As everyone knows, this was the famous technique of the Six Desires Demon King back then, the Six Desires heavenly magic technique. At the same time, Lark suddenly turned his head and glanced at the gloomy old man, cursing secretly in his heart, but he didn't care about him, and directly pinched his hands and pressed them on the door. I only heard a loud bang, and a golden light shot out from it, instantly straight into the sky, but seeing that everyone immediately used their magical powers, they rushed into it. Wang Lin also stepped on his feet, turned into a Changhong, flashed in, and disappeared. Inside this Lingshan gate is a golden ocean, and on the island at the end of this ocean, a palace is erected. The palace is extremely luxurious and huge, sometimes emitting bursts of dazzling golden light. Skylark and the old man came in first, and walked away without saying a word. Renegade Feng and Liu Mei followed closely when they saw this. However, Zhou Wutai and Zixin hesitated, slowed down, and did not rush forward. There is also a masked man who doesn't look at the island at all, but just looks at the ocean under his feet and thinks about something. Wang Lin's figure was like electricity, and at this moment it also turned into a Changhong, galloping towards the palace. After Wang Lin and others took advantage of the third collapse of Suzaku's tomb, they opened the gate of Lingshan. Unexpectedly, as soon as I stepped in, I was greeted by a golden ocean. On the island at the end of the ocean, a luxurious hall is extremely conspicuous. Seeing the figure of the lark flickering, he rushed directly over like lightning. However, at this moment, the gloomy old man grabbed the little monkey on his shoulder, but threw it forward abruptly. Who expected the little monkey to jump forward and grab it directly in front of the lark? Just as they were about to approach, a giant in golden armor holding a giant sword slowly walked out of it, but seeing this giant leap up, he stood on the top of the hall like a god. He waved his sword, and suddenly set off a monstrous wave, sweeping towards the island. In a blink of an eye, the entire island was submerged by huge waves and disappeared into the golden ocean. At this time, Lark first attracted the attention of the giant. Without saying a word, the giant swept his sword, and 100 sword chi slashed towards him. Skylark was taken aback when he saw this, and immediately the red light condensed in his hand, and slammed into the sword aura. After only hearing a bang, young Quasi's body sank directly into the bottom of the sea and disappeared. However, the big man did not intend to continue the pursuit, but set his sights on the little monkey. At the same time, on top of the giant sword, the sword aura is also constantly condensing at this moment, but when he was about to cut it off, the little monkey's eyes suddenly flickered, and he saw 3 feet of red light in his eyes instantly, which shocked the giant's body. The little monkey took the opportunity to jump and return directly to the gloomy old man. At this moment, the big man waved his sword again. He ignored the monkey, and turned to cut towards the old man. The old man roared in a low voice, and a red phantom suddenly emerged from his body. He saw that the sword light was waved by the phantom's right hand and disappeared directly. To his surprise, the giant actually just glanced at the old man and even nodded. The old man didn't stop, and then took the little monkey, and in a flash, he dived directly into the bottom of the sea. However, when Wang Lin saw this scene in his eyes, he found some clues. Based on his experience, it can be seen at a glance that this giant has no intention of hurting people, but if he wants to go to the palace, he has to cut it first to qualify. However, Wang Lin had already had countermeasures in his heart at this time. He noticed that when the old man and the monkey were separated, the giant only cut the monkey. When the two got together, the giant still only cut it. In other words, under the judgment of the giant, this one person and one monkey belonged to one thing at that time. Qian Feng and Liu Mei frowned slightly not far away, and at this moment they also saw something. You and I joined forces to resist the sword of the golden armored man, how about? As soon as these words came out, unexpectedly, Wang Lin unexpectedly accepted his proposal. The reason why Qian Feng invited Wang Lin to join forces was actually a helpless move. Now, the old man and Skylark have entered the palace. In case something happens, they can only temporarily let go of their grievances and choose to cooperate. Besides, he and Liu Mei were actually not sure that they could take the giant sword. Although Wang Lin was only in the early stages of infantile transformation, Qian Feng never dared to despise him in his heart. The billion soul streamers that could be collected into the following infantile transformations were enough to make him extremely jealous. That's why he arranged for Hongdi to hold Wang Lin back and let himself be one step ahead. It was only when he came here that he realized that he had to break through, but then again, if Wang Lin didn't have those billion soul streamers, then Qian Feng would actually not put Wang Lin in his eyes at all. Friend Xing Daoyu, you and I will go to the sword light first, and then my younger sister will take care of it. What do you think? Don't bother so much, Wang is the first to pick up Jinmang, and you two will follow. As soon as these words came out, Qian Feng was also taken aback. The reason why he proposed to take action at the same time was because he was afraid that Wang Lin would worry too much and not do his best. You must know that the two of them have not reached the point where they can trust each other, which means that the first one to go up must not only pick up the sword, but also prevent the black hand from sticking out from behind. Although he was a little confused at the moment, he agreed very happily. In this way, Wang Lin was in front, Liu Mei and Qian Feng were behind, and they flew towards the giant in formation. At the same time, the giant sword in the hand of the big man slashed directly at this moment, although Wang Lin felt something when Young Quasi confronted the old man with the sword before, when he came to pick up the sword in person, he immediately felt the horror of this thing. Even the breath of this sword light made his spirit begin to tremble. Although the sword light had not yet arrived, there was blood left at the corner of Wang Lin's mouth at this moment, and he, who had been strong all his life, also showed an unyielding look in his eyes. At this time, Qian Feng, who was behind him, saw this situation, but he didn't have any kindness. He decisively decided to kill Wang Lin first, and then use the power of the soul streamer to resist Jinmang alone. Xing Daoyu, don't panic, Qian is here. With Liu Mei's intelligence, he naturally saw Qian Feng's intentions, but he thought that when Wang Lin arrived, he would definitely become the demon of his ascension to the great master. He was a ruthless person, so he didn't follow up. Instead, he chose to meet in the back. But since Wang Lin dared to propose the first one to resist Jinmang, how could he not count that Qian Feng would change his mind? In fact, Qian Feng's style was exactly the result he had always wanted. This time, the sword light had already fallen above Wang Lin's head, and at the same time, Qian Feng's speeding figure also came within 10 feet of him. At this moment, Wang Lin let out a long howl and patted the storage bag. Everyone who is familiar with Wang Lin knows that Wang Lin smiles, life and death are unpredictable, and the storage bag is padded. Please mourn. It's no joke that I saw a pagoda fly out immediately, and it was directly in front of him in a flash. A trace of Zhou Yi's early divine consciousness quickly spread out in an instant. Just as the sword light eased, Wang Lin immediately retracted the pagoda and rushed towards the sea. However, at this moment, the giant did not go after Wang Lin, but looked ahead. At this moment, there was no sword light that was fighting against the god of victory, and he regained his power again. Suddenly, he took advantage of the situation and fell on Gan Feng, who had come here. Upon seeing this, Qian Feng's complexion immediately changed drastically, and he hurriedly used his supernatural powers to resist. To say that he is playing tricks, in Wang Lin's eyes, he is Qian Feng, even if he has just graduated from the kindergarten middle class. Looking back on that time, the distance between the little monkey and the gloomy old man was less than 10 feet. This distance was the key to being judged as one by the golden armored man. Wang Lin decisively analyzed that within this range, whoever was close, the sword would attack him. This is also the reason why Wang Lin refused to step forward with Qian Feng, because the distance was too close. If there were some small moves, with the wit of Qian Feng kindergarten middle class, he might react immediately, so that he could be prepared. All this is slow to say, but in fact it is all done between the electro-optical flint. Seeing this, Liu Mei suddenly became a little enlightened, and as soon as she moved, she immediately rushed towards Wang Lin. A cold light flashed in Wang Lin's eyes, and he left Qian Feng 10 feet away in an instant. At the same time, the two sword lights also slashed towards the two of them separately. Liu Mei had an idea and was about to teleport, making Wang Lin the closest person to Jinmang above him, but his move immediately led Wang Lin to kill him. As the years slipped by, I saw several wood carvings flying out of Wang Lin's storage bag, and immediately exploded. A sense of artistic conception of the years spread frantically in an instant, although it is impossible to cause damage to Liu Mei, and even the delay time is quite short, but at this moment of crisis, this short moment is very fatal. While Wang Lin fell under Liu Mei, he quickly exerted a burst of energy and rushed straight to the center of Liu Mei's eyebrows. He didn't look at the result, and rushed into the ocean without hesitation and disappeared. At this time, Liu Mei, wrapped in a ribbon, directly withdrew from Qianzhang. At the same time, Qian Feng also retreated in great embarrassment. Xing Niu, I swear by Qian Feng that I will smash you to pieces. If I can't do this, I will tell Qian Feng not to die. The reason why the golden armored giant did not continue to attack the two of them is actually because his duty is to guard this place. Only those who meet the requirements will be allowed to enter the palace. There is only one requirement, and that is to be able to resist the power of his sword.